Big thumbs up from Seamus Heaney there.
Once we had Seamus Heaney involved in this project and very interested in working with us on this series, we had then suggested to him to use a couple of different narrators. And Seamus kind of listened to us, and then he said, well, what about Billy Connelly?
Aesop tells a tale. Aesop, my author.
He's highly intelligent, and I saw him in a movie called Mrs. Brown, where he acted John Brown, the servant to Queen Victoria. It established him in my mind as somebody with possibilities other than the wild man doing the comic act on the stage, which is also deeply attractive.
Billy Connelly. Billy Connelly. Mr. Billy Connelly. Billy Connelly. Billy Connelly. Billy Connelly. Billy Connelly.
I've invented a new form of fishing. It's called nutting the salmon. There's one, John.
So I thought that wiliness and wildness from the comic side of his performance and the strength of his performance as an actor, that those would be two qualities to combine, because that's what we have in Henderson also.
This country mouse, when winter came, endured cold and hunger and extreme distress.
He also had the accent, of course, which is not to be disrespected either.
He obviously had a certain, predisposition to working on this kind of material. That's a subject matter quite close to his heart.
To live on earth and know the greatest joy, content yourself with just a few possessions.
He got on brilliantly with Seamus. The two of them had an instant rapport.
Oh, far better than all right.
The two of them were actually quite in awe of each other,
We're very lucky.
And I said to him, did you find this difficult? And he said, no.
Pacing is the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, and reading verse, I think, keeping the line ending and giving a sense of the shape and the movement.
Well, I had a wee go in bed last night, so I had it in my head. I wasn't speaking out, though. I was just reading it and speaking it into myself. Because the verse can be quite concealed. There can be a dodgy way to get there. Yeah. And if you get it, it's lovely. You get a little lift.
What I liked was the way you kept the metre and respected the shape on the page. There's a definite metre there, and there's rhyme.
The comma is a mighty beast.
Yeah.
Oh, I love him. He's great. He's how can I put it? He's a lot gentler than I expected him to be. For some reason, I thought he'd be more aggressive. I don't know why. Never having met him before. But he's a big, gentle dumpling. It's lovely.
We're getting very fastidious here.
I think he's amazing. Yeah, because his reputation swells before him. It's kind of scary having you sitting out here.
Oh, for God's sake, not at all.
Well, I admired Billy Connelly when he was doing the comedy, reading the verse. He is, after all, a world star and so on. But he took instruction, and he was as ready to get the thing right for himself and for the director.
Wouldn't mind one more. You just felt as though you were rushing that a wee bit at the beginning.
Okay.
There, I think it's yours.
I'm glad I made a mistake there. I want to do it again.
I thought that there was total professionalism, and that was something made it a pleasure to work with him.
Can I go?
All yours, sir.
The carter howls. A gutting I'll give ye, a herring treat, a second helping that you'll not forget.
It was quite an interesting recording session because, as I recall, Seamus Heaney was actually editing his own work. During the recording session, Billy would narrate an entire stanza. Of course, he narrated them with great gusto and drama and so forth, but sometimes he got stuck at certain words, and Seamus was sitting there with the book in hand, and he would then suggest an alternative word which should flow a little bit better.
Then Wolf said, I will risk it. We must fetch that Lent feed here.
That was great. Hang on, I just want to have a wee chat with Tim here.
If you couldn't see the text, you might find that a little confusing if it's all run together. I just wondered whether we must fetch that Lent feed here, maybe.
Maybe do something untoward and change it to Lent food.
Oh, yeah, you could. We must fetch that Lent food.
Cattle feed.
That would be better, actually.
Guys.
Yes.
Billy.
Yeah.
So could you go back a page to we must fetch that Lent feed? Can we change it to that Lent food?
Lent food?
I was thinking of a feed in the northern sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then Wolf said, I will risk it. We must fetch that Lent food here.